Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we are playing a game called DAGON, and it is a short story Lovecraftian little adventure, I guess, kind of this little story that you just get to walk around in. And so I'm interested. I want to check it out. I've not played too many like Lovecraftian games, so maybe we could get into some of those. Could be fun. As long as we don't go mad. Can't do that. But let's check it out. DAGON is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices. Whew! Action sequences or inventory management here. Honestly, it's about time. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it. I don't like having to work in my games. I'm not skilled enough, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. Fantastic. I'm excited.
I'm writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
What's gonna happen to me? During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story. Okay, cool. Its historical background and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the elder sign. Okay. So we can zoom in. We can zoom in on stuff. Focus on it. Okay, what's this?
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer.
Oh no.
And shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid
Don't
street
do
below.
it! Don't do it! No!
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
No one called you that. You called yourself that.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Oh, are we gonna get to read your pages? Oh, I'm going to write the pages right now. I see. Whoa. Morphine. Morphine entered into use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War and World War I. It was also sold without restrictions until 1914. That's crazy. Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Frederick Serturner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it morphium. Morpheus. Oh, after Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. Oh, cool. At the time when DAGON was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the United States. Wow, that's actually some interesting trivia. You can read the discovered trivia immediately or go back to them later in the main menu. Turn off displaying trivia if you find that the feature distracts you from the story. No, I want it. This can be changed anytime in the options. Yeah, I want to see the trivia, of course. What is this? Let's write our page, I guess. I guess that's what we're doing.
One of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific, that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
That's a creepy, ominous boat right there. Kind of a creepy, ominous night. It's like half bright, but you can see the stars. Oh yeah, there's the moon. Look at that. It's moving too. This is great. Alright, there's the boat. That's a big boat. Man, oh man. What's going on? What happened?
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
Huh. Wow, this looks really good.
So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Naval prisoners. Our vessel was a legitimate prize. What's up with the flag? The Huns were... do you guys want me to read all the trivia? Or... yeah, sure, why not? We're just kind of here to check out this game, so... The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids, who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans, in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on the 27th of July, 1900, before they embarked to China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited, just as 1,000 years ago the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves. One that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the laws and customs of war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899. Yeah, I see. What is that? Is that a lifeboat? Looks like we headed over there.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
All right, we're breaking out of here. We're busting off this boat on the little lifeboat. Cool. What do we have here? This is our provisions. We got a little bit of stuff. It's not a bad sack full of something. I don't know what's in there.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Oh, creepy. Great. Wow. It's almost peaceful, though. Like, I wouldn't mind this right here as a wallpaper, you know? It's kind of nice, actually.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
You know what, man? That's better than I'd be able to do, so more power to you.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
That's horrifying. Like, I say this would be peaceful, and I'm sure it would be for a time. But, you know, this is not gonna last. The feeling of peace is not gonna last here. You're stuck. It's gonna get scary really fast. Oh, we can interact with the moon. Okay. What's up with the moon?
The weather kept
it's
fair,
gone.
and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun,
Oh my.
waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Wow. I guess that's all you can do, really. If you don't know where you're going, where you are, you don't even have the stars to guide you right now. You have the sun, but wow. All you can do is just kind of hope someone shows up. What do we have left for water?
But neither ship
that's
nor
bright.
land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Man, it's
The
not looking
change
good for our...
happened whilst I slept.
The change happened whilst I slept? Huh? We got a bit of a musical change here. I don't know what's going on. What kind of change happened?
Its details I shall never know,
What's going on?
for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
What is that? Whoa. It's like a giant squid. The whole ocean is like... What's happening? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I feel like I'm on a different planet. There's a boat. There's my boat's been attacked by this squid thing. What? Alright, what are you?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Yeah, it feels like we're on Squid Planet. I don't think we're on Earth anymore.
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
Yeah, there it is over there. It's got a squid behind it. This is creepy. What? It's hard to tell what this thing even is.
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
Yeah, well, I would think so. I think I would be too. I don't think you're alone there.
For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
Sinister would definitely be one of the words to describe this, so you know what? I think it's fair to be horrified waking up to this.
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
What's that? Oof. Decaying fish, other less describable things. Yeah, no kidding. Some of this stuff is like, it's hard to even tell what's happening. That's an octopus fell upside down. How did that happen, man? You need me to come flip you over?
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
Wow.
There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
It gets a lot darker over here. That's a creepy looking guy. Ugh. What's this? That thing looks like prehistoric. It's got too many legs for me.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Huh. Reflecting the inky marsh. I wonder if this is all passages from the actual short story. It must be. And they just put it into visual format. That's really cool. Let's check out the boat. Ooh, yikes. I didn't want to hear the squidgy steps.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
So he just assumes that this is all volcanic aftermath that's come up to the surface. How weird would that be? What's going on over there? I see you moving. He goes back down like, no, you didn't. What are you talking about? Ugh. This reminds me of one of the Skyrim DLCs, like Apocrypha. There's just a fish there. That's just a fish. It's a big fish, but it's just a fish. Oh, I didn't even see you. Creepy fella. Cool.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Yeah, the ocean is gone. We're in something else. I don't think this is the ocean.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Seafowl. Huh. Alright, he wants us to look at the fish. Alright, sure. What's up with the fish? Don't eat it. Please don't eat it.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Can I walk on this? After a while I would have started walking around. He sat here for several hours. Maybe the sun is just like beaming down so badly that we had to get in the shade of the boat.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Alright, looks like we're going to actually do that. We're going to move around.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Man, there's the moon over there. I don't like seeing the shadows of the tentacles off to my right there. It's creepy. Feels like it's coming right at me. Watch that one right there. Looks like it comes right down here. Ooh! Tickles. Okay. awesome. How are we doing for food? What's in here?
On the third morning, I
Okay.
found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Alright, we're going for a walk. What is this? Oh, this is like something right in front of me. That thing's huge. Look how long it is.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Might as well just start walking. I don't know what else we're gonna do here. Clearly everything we knew is gone. So, don't, we stepped right over that thing. You really could have went around it. I'm gonna be honest.
I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
What's that? Some big, like, dorsal fin over there. And there's a rock! Faraway hummock, which rose higher than any other elevation. That must be that thing over there? That little hill? I'm not even sure what some of this stuff is. Kind of indescribable. Especially that thing. Like, what are you? Alright, there's the hummock. Let's go to the hammock. Oh, don't like that. That's looking spidery to me. What is that? I thought that was like a metal beam, like coming out of concrete. But I'm feeling like it's probably an animal. Oh! A whale! Finally something I recognize. Man, seeing a giant whale just beached up on this foreign ocean is creepy. I really don't like this thing. That's giving me spider vibes. More crab vibes, but like spider crab.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Wow. We've got like the worm from Dune here. Giant snake. It's pretty scary. Alright, let's keep headed towards that thing. That thing's looking bigger and bigger, whatever it is. The precipice of the ocean. Wow!
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Yeah, exactly. This thing keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's huge. It's like some sort of illusion. This looks fantastic, though. Again, this is a wallpaper.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface.
Intervening valley setting it out in a sharper relief from the general surface.
Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Alright. At least we've got shade. I'm in. And we'll
I know
camp
not
up
why
here.
my dreams were so wild that night.
I thought we were already in the dream. Don't tell me you're going Inception here.
But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain.
A fantastically gibbous moon. I'm gonna start just calling it that when someone's like, oh, did you see the moon tonight? Yes, it was fantastically gibbous.
I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
Are we gonna climb it? Come on, let's climb the mound.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
What visions did you have? We didn't even get to see his dream.
In the glow of the moon, I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day.
Why were you unwise to travel by day?
Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Okay. We should have traveled at night, I guess.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset.
That's really dark. I can still kind of see it, though.
Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Alright, let's go. Pick up my pack here. We're gonna head up there.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me.
Yes? Okay, that's quite the sentence. But you did say that.
I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon.
No way. Are you gonna let us see it?
Whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
There's nothing here! There's nothing! Oh, I don't even want to know. It's like Cthulhu gonna pop out of there, take up our whole screen. So this is the top of the mound, and this is the other side. It's just nothing. It's like Davy Jones' locker. It's just kind of a weird mist. Creepy. Nothing but the moon.
I felt myself on the edge of the world.
Yeah, the edge of the world. Well put.
Peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos
Don't
of
look
eternal
down.
night.
That is some fathomless chaos. I don't like it. Look, even the rocks over in the corner like start to disappear. It's like, what is happening? All of a sudden we're in space. It's weird.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost. And of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Not quite so perpendicular? How do you mean? Let's take a look.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Easy footholds. I don't know, man. That stuff looks pretty slippery. I think you... Actually, that looks like something that if you stepped in it, it's gonna drag you down like quicksand, you know? Feels like Venom from Spider-Man.
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
The declivity? Does that mean like the severity at which it declines? I'm not really sure what declivity means. This is weird. I feel like I'm looking at a wall, except my guy's looking straight down, you know? Like, it's hard to tell which way is up. It's like if you were a blind person underwater, it's like, how do you know which way is the surface? Okay, I guess we're trying to go down.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze.
What is that?
I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath.
Okay, so we're at the... What is that? We're at the bottom of the hill. That looks like a skyscraper. What is that?
Gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated.
It is really dark.
All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
That is a vast and singular object. I described it as a skyscraper, but you know what? You described it better.
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Wow. I want to go over there. I want to check it out. I bet it's going to be huge. It's going to be like the mountain.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
Well, it doesn't look totally natural like that. You probably don't see too many right angles in nature.
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Huh. Yeah, what is this thing? What's that word, like obelisk? Does that feel like a right word to describe this thing? I think I got that from No Man's Sky, playing that game. You run around and find like obelisks, and they're just kind of a big stone something.
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young.
An abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young. That's really cool. Huh.
I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith.
Monolith. Okay, that's actually a way better word. That thing, that is given monolith vibes. That thing's monolith-pilled.
Whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
Sounds like there's a construction site going on behind me. The workmanship of living and thinking creatures. Interesting. So somebody made this.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
All right. Yeah, is there anything else going on? Got a little brighter there. I don't see much. There's something there. What is that? It looks like there's a crack in the ground, maybe. Oh, we're in water.
The moon, now near the
What was that?
zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Whoa. Okay, we've got symbols. I'm thinking this wasn't naturally made anymore.
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions, and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope.
Just a little pond here. I like that we can see the mound up to the top right there. It's pretty dark, but you can see it where we came down from. Over there too. It's like circling around behind us. Kind of creepy. It's like we're trapped down here with this thing.
Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith.
Cyclopean? What does that mean? Like mono? Like, I'm just thinking Cyclops, one eye, Cyclopean. It's like singular monolith, I guess.
On whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Yeah, I see those. It's pretty cool. Don't know how it got here.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me, and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
Oh. Well. A system of unlike anything I'd ever seen. I mean, there's a shark there. There's a turtle. There's a seahorse. There's like a conch shell. I think I see a jellyfish. There's a really scary looking shark there under the hammerhead. What do we have over here? It's like a lionfish or something. Another shell. A crab. Starfish. So basically we've got all the ocean creatures. And in the middle here we have this sort of like octopus looking guy.
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
Alright.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
Yeah, what are these? That kind of looks like an octopus, but oh, that's a lionfish on the right there. What is this one in the middle? Yeah, I have no idea. It looks like a warthog, sort of, but if he grew a big tentacle beard. Like, what is that?
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain.
Okay, so these are some of the things I saw when I woke up on the boat.
It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
The pictorial carving? Okay. Let's check it out. Storytelling methods. DAGON contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and character notes, the Shadow Out of Time, the Haunter of the Dark, islands emerging from the ocean, the Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Me Go in the Whisperer in Darkness. It is also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to DAGON, but let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Okay, it sounds good. Let's check this thing out.
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré.
I don't really know what much of that meant, I'm gonna be honest.
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
Really? I'm not seeing it. Alright.
The creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto.
Okay, these almost look humanoid, for sure. See some arms and a head. There's the monolith there.
Or paying homage at some monolithic shrine, which appeared to be under the waves as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. So this is under the ocean.
Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail.
Oh, okay. Well, alright. Don't tell us then. Keep your secrets.
For the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Ooh, look at that guy down there. It's pretty creepy. That's pretty scary too. Oh, that's pretty weird.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
Okay, so sort of fish-like humans.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
Ugh.
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background.
Chiseled badly out of proportion. So, does that mean that these are much bigger than they're drawn, or much smaller? So, like, this is not actual size.
For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale,
Oh,
represented
wow.
as but little larger than himself.
Okay, so one of these would be about the size of a whale. That's huge. So yeah, this drawing is way smaller than actual size, is what we're getting.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
You did remark that.
But in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Okay, could be.
Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
The Piltdown. I haven't heard that before. Okay, cool.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly,
What?
I saw it.
What did we see? Oh no! Something's in there, man! Something's in the water!
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface,
Whoa.
the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
The water's moving really weird. It's like syrup. Oh.
Unslike and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the Marley.
Nobody say anything. If we don't make a noise, he won't see us. Oh, I was gonna sneeze there. Okay.
About which it flung its gigantic
Oh, I made him angry.
arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
He's not happy with the monolith. He's taking it back to the ocean where it belongs. I won't interfere.
I think I went mad then.
I think I would have went mad then too. It's okay, man.
Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
But you still remember something. You remember little, but what you remember something. Okay. Hold on to it. We might need it later. So we climb. Wow!
I believe I sang a great deal and
Hi.
laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Oh, we're going crazy. I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing. So we sang so much, but that we lost our voice and we just started wheezing because we thought it was so funny. La 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 la. Sorry, I was trying to reenact it there. Don't walk under the spider leg. What's wrong with you? What if it, like, pokes you?
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
Oh, I don't like that. That makes me feel like the ground's gonna soften and we're gonna sink into it.
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
That's a pretty nasty storm. It wasn't too cloudy for how bad it was storming though.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital,
Okay.
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Brought thither by the captain. Okay. So somebody
In my
found me in the
delirium,
little boat.
I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
Alright, so they dismissed me as being utterly insane. Which, to be fair, is a fair assumption on their part. But who knows what we really saw was real.
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Yeah, they're just not going to believe you. There's really no point. There's no point. How did I do that? I've telepathic powers.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist.
Ethnologist.
And amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Alright, what do we have here? That, looks similar kind of to the stuff I saw. Let's take a look at it. This is a nice room. Oh, what's that? Oh, I should probably read this. Here we go. Dagon was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. Sorry, I messed some of those words up. In Hebrew, the word Dagan was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's work, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that resides in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Wow. Did we see him? Did we see him, or did we see one of like the worshipper people that had like started turning into a fish? Alright, let's check out this. What is this statue? It's kind of looking like some of the stuff I saw as well. A nice lamp. Okay, let's check out the cabinet.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional,
Necronomicon.
I did not press my inquiries.
I bet we're gonna pick that book out. Oh, this little white circle's gonna show up on that book. It was a little tree branch, but close enough. August Derleth and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company. Arkham House, Arkham Asylum mentioned, let's go. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu Mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu Mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Ooh. He's just trying to make some fun stories, guys. Yeah, we wouldn't be playing this creepy game if we didn't have these stories, you know? Let's check out this thing. The Marketer. Lovecraft's attempts to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends. Among others, he started freelancing for a marketing magazine, where he would write announcements and commercials. Really? Feel free to judge his copywriting skills for yourself. From an ad for Curtis Woodwork. Curtis Woodwork embraces both the usual structural units and the cleverest contrivances of built-in or permanent furniture, such as bookcases, dressers, buffets, and cupboards. Every model is conceived and created with the purest art, ripest scholarship, and mellowest craftsmanship which energetic enterprise can command, and meet to conform rigidly to the architecture of each particular type of home. The cost, considering the quality, is amazingly low, and a trademark on the individual pieces prevents any substitution by careless contractors. Source: Lovecraft Studies, Volume 7, Number 1, H.P. Lovecraft, S.T. Joshi. Yoshi! Sorry. Okay. Well, where do you want us to head next? To the clock. What are you looking at? Sorry. Still a little crazy from the ocean. I just heard it ring! The Scientist. If you don't want to hear about all these things, feel free to just like tap your screen ahead, but I'm going to read through these. These days, the word scientist is a widely accepted term, but at the time DAGON was published, it was subject to a wide debate. After the author used it in the story, critics pointed out that man of science was a more appropriate term to employ. He admitted, in defiance of DAGON, that if DAGON were to be reprinted, he would indeed use the phrase they suggested. Scientist was coined as an analog to artist, to be used when referring to those studying different branches of science. Yet, in the 19th and the early 20th century, scientific researchers in Great Britain and the United States were of the opinion that man of science, resembling the term man of letters, was the only proper choice. Among other things, it was gender-specific, indicating that science was an endeavor to be pursued by only one sex. The term scientist became more accepted only after World War II, and man of science started fading into obscurity as an old-fashioned synonym. We're getting like some weird lore. Some like real-world lore here. Look at that beam. That is a cool pillar, I have to say. Ooh, we got some strings playing. Hello. Very nice. Very nice indeed.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
The thing? Not the gibbous moon?
I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Not good. Not good.
So now I am to end it all.
Well,
having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
I'm sure there's other things we can do, man. You don't have to end it.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm.
Sure it could have.
A mere
Absolutely.
freak of fever as I lay sunstricken
Oh my
and raving
goodness,
in the
that was
open boat
scary.
after my escape from the German man of war.
Oh, that's bright.
This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
Oh, it's still stuck in our head.
I cannot think of the
I'm
deep sea
flying.
without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very
What?
moment be
Oh, this is a
crawling
creepy-
and floundering on its slimy bed,
This is a creepy shot. What is going on?
worshipping their ancient stone idols. and
Oh,
carving
man.
Their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite.
Hello, that's a big fish. It's a big fish. Quick, put a worm on the line. We gotta catch him.
I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind.
Oh man, what else is gonna happen?
Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend.
We're going to space.
amidst universal pandemonium.
Whoa, what? The fish army. The fish army is taking on New York. I didn't think this was gonna end in like an Avengers level threat. Look, they're going. They're moving. They're headed in. We gotta stop them. We gotta stop them. We gotta save the Statue of Liberty.
The end is near.
What? Somebody getting closer? Oh! Someone's trying to break into my room.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
The fish people are here. They're here. They know I'm writing stories about them. I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay, what's at the door?
It shall not find me.
I think it already found you. Oh. Hello?
God, that
No.
hand!
No. What are you? Stay away.
The
It's
window!
coming in.
The window!
The window. We have to get out the window. We have to go out the window. I saw a fish out there. Oh no, we just... Oh no! It actually drove us to insanity. It ended us. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate it if you took a moment to rate DAGON and check out our other games and DLCs. Wow! What did you guys think of that? That was kind of a different one than ones we usually play on the channel here. This was kind of like a narrative, just story that you get to hang out in. It's like if you were watching a movie, except you could just look around in 360 degrees. I also think these can be played in VR, and if you would like to see any of these DLCs, I would absolutely try one of them. I don't think they're like super expensive or anything. So I would, and if you want to see it in VR, I would try that as well. I think that'd be really cool. So let me know. This was a different video for sure. It was more of like a just get immersed in the story than goof around in a scary game. But I had a good time. That was interesting. These would almost, you know, feel free, if we don't play them here, feel free to check these out, these DLCs on your own. This was just a free game, and these DLCs, I'm not sure if they cost anything, but anyways, thanks so much for coming by. Again, let me know if you would like to see these. We can absolutely do those. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for hanging out. Bye-bye.